Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back for episode 8, the final episode of season 1 of the Acolyte. The last episode supposedly gave us the truth of what happened on that night. There's still a lot of things that don't 100% add up in my mind, so I'm wondering if there's still a couple of twists and turns left, or if that was it. So we'll find out. We got this episode to go, and then we'll see what happens. So guys, with that said, let's get ready to jump in. If you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you're a member of the channel, get you access as well. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up the time codes to mirror actually the entire episode. Over there, you get the same thing for all the other shows and movies that we cover on the channel. You also get to suggest and vote what movies to react to each month. We got monthly Q&As, behind-the-scenes footage, to try to make it worth your while since you are going out of your way to support the channel. But guys, at the end of the day, really appreciate it. Enjoy this reaction. To least leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. That all sent out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into episode 8, The Acolyte. Here we go. Oh, picking up right here, huh? Okay.
Osha.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, whoa, what the fuck? The hell was that?
I saw May. She had her hand outstretched. She was killing Soul.
Where is she?
She had a saber in her hand, but she didn't use it.
This is the future you saw.
Was it actually May, though?
I've seen where they are.
So we go together and see who gets to her first.
Okay.
Where are we?
Interesting. Your race. See,
Why?
whoever claims May wins.
Master Vernestra. The Jedi will meet us here.
There is a vengeance on this planet. Now that you and Osha are both alive, I can prove it.
Prove it.
Oh.
Prove
Huh.
that murdering our mother was justified.
What happened to you, to your coven, was an accident.
If it was an accident, then why didn't you tell Osha? Why did you blame it on me?
You started that fire. You locked everyone in.
Because the Jedi invaded our home.
I mean,
Everyone in there
technically
died
after
because of the
you
four
did
of
that.
you.
It was
Not-
right for us to intervene. My biggest regret is that I wasn't able to save you both. You and Osha are not twins. You're not even sisters. You're...
Damn. God, this little fucker. Man, this whole thing.
See you now, Jedi.
Anyway, what all happened on Brendock, is like a chronic case of, from a certain point of view. Everybody's not wholly wrong from their perspective, but there's a lot of context we have that all the players do not. That kind of makes it a little frustrating. Because no one's really gonna know the truth at all. I mean, she was manipulated. This whole thing was provoked. They fell right into it. Like, there's just like a bunch of fault all to be laid around. Oh, shit.
He's too big to follow us in here.
That was sick. What'd you say? Wow. I mean, that is some sick, solid visuals right there. Dude, they really thought they had a home run with this Basil thing, didn't they? I mean, hell, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why would you do that? Basil! What the fuck? I don't know why that was so funny. I expected a bigger thud, and it just was like, bang.
Senator.
Apologies for my intrusion.
Not at all.
Oh, Wait.
I was surprised when they said you were traveling through hyperspace. I was sure.
Yo!
It's my head, actually. And I'm fine.
What up?
This must be urgent to wait for me here.
I haven't
I've
seen you
heard
in so
some
long.
disturbing things.
Oh.
What have you heard?
That you are running a murder investigation without reporting it to the Senate.
I'm keeping this internal for the moment. I have the authority to take independent action if there's no larger threat.
How can you know there is no larger threat?
All the victims were Jedi.
There are multiple victims?
I am very close to apprehending the suspect.
Is the suspect a Jedi?
Very close. Thank you for your concern.
You don't like me. You think my campaign for an external review of the Jedi is a personal vendetta.
If you want my honest opinion, yes.
Good. Here's mine. I think the Jedi are a massive system of unchecked power, posing as a religion, a delusional cult that claims to control the uncontrollable.
We don't control the Force.
Not the Force, your emotions. You project an image of goodness and restraint, but it's only a matter of time before one of you snaps. And when, not if that happens, who will be strong enough to stop him?
That's certainly an opinion, and not one shared by the rest of the Senate.
I mean, he's got a pretty valid point.
Imagine a galaxy without the Jedi. And I can understand why. When you're looking up to heroes, you don't have to face what's right in front of you.
Bottling up your emotions is never the way.
I have reported your lack of transparency to Chancellor Drellick. He may invite you to a Senate tribunal for an update. I hope for your sake you have this suspect in custody. Good luck. No, what is it you say? May the Force be with you.
Damn. Well, that was a fun little surprise. Haven't seen him in a minute. Ew, get out of here.
You should be trained. Would you ever consider?
No.
We'll see.
Last chance.
Title of this episode, man.
Told you. I'm not my sister.
You're definitely not.
Dude, she's so gonna realize that the one in that vision is her. Then she's going to turn heel on all of this. Oh. Oh! Yo! That was Plagueis! Am I wrong? That looked like a Mun. Holy shit.
We found Master Soul. He's turned his transponder beacon back on.
Where is he?
Brandok,
Gather as many knights as you can without raising alarm.
you anticipate a confrontation?
Yeah.
A resolution.
I mean, I would too, regardless of what we think of Soul after the fucking bodies we just found just a minute ago.
Getting this elevator operational is the only way in. Unless you want to climb.
Are you sure?
Oh, what the fuck? He just levitated. Sight of your biggest failure. Why? I'm sure you could have picked literally anywhere else to hide. Sight of your greatest failure. It's like this entire fortress.
Thank you for leading me to her.
Damn.
We make a great team.
Okay, here we go. I love a good lightsaber fight in a hallway, man. Just the sparks. Oh, we got some crouching tiger, hidden dragon shit going on right there.
I will destroy you if I must.
Not if she gets you first.
God, that was sick. Hey, if I'll say it, Qimir is the best thing that has come out of this show. Like, undefiably. Okay. I see you, Soul. Oh, whoa, hell yeah. hot damn. Dude, he is honed in.
Everything that happened here, all because you didn't want me to become a Jedi. I could never learn to calm my negative emotions, so I never became a Jedi. And I guess in the end, you got what you wanted. Soul killed our mother. How could he teach you to control your negative emotions? He's the reason you have them.
Coming in fucking hot, man. No, I am evil, Pip. She factory reset his ass. He doesn't even know who you are anymore. Damn. Man, they flipped. I like that too, like, oh, shit. That fucked with my brain there for a second. Like, even in the color scheme, too. She's in the dark robes now. She's in the light. You know, they've reversed because of all of this. Oh, shit. Made you look. Oh. Whoa. Holy shit. Wow.
Strike them down, and your journey
lovely.
will be complete.
No.
Damn. But Osha will probably.
I want him to confess what he did. I want him to face the High Council. I want him to pay for his crimes.
I wanted to protect you both. I don't know how your mother did it.
How she did what?
She created life. I believe she used the Force to create you and Osha. In the history of the galaxy, very few have been that powerful.
Yep.
And you killed her.
Yes.
Is that true?
It was the right thing to do.
If it was the right thing to do, why didn't you tell the Jedi?
They would have sent you away.
Stop talking.
I kept this from you, so you could have the life you'd always dreamed of. I did everything because I love.
Wait, is she doing it? Yeah, she is. And without a weapon.
Stop talking.
Oh. Wow. God, you see a satisfied ass look on May's face right there? Damn. Oh, whoa. Seen a lightsaber be bled in real time. Shit.
You.
Oh, there it is.
You're alive.
There it is. Oh, is Qimir gone?
I know a way out.
Damn. Who closed his eyes?
You are with me. I am with you. Who taught us that rhyme? I thought you made it up.
Oh.
If I can find you, so can the Jedi.
Let my sister go and I will train with you.
Are you sure? The Jedi will use me to find you.
I can attempt to wipe her memory, remove any trace of you or me.
Do it. I can't lose you again. You're going to do what you were meant to do, and I won't stop you this time. You are with me. I am with you. Always one.
Pow.
Born as two. As above sits the stars.
And it's gone.
Don't move. Lay down any weapons that you have and surrender. You're under arrest.
What did I do?
How are they gonna run with this?
16 years ago, 4 Jedi were stationed on the planet Brendok. There, they discovered a force cult of witches. A conflict ensued. There were many casualties. Afterwards, the Jedi conspired to keep their actions secret. Recently, when the truth threatened to come out, a rogue Jedi named Sol killed his accomplices to maintain the cover story.
Yep, they did pin it all on him. Wow.
I can assure you, while this is a terrible tragedy, it was the work of one flawed man.
And where is Master Sol now?
He was found dead on Brendok, at the scene of his original crime. I believe he ended his own life. Sol made a mistake he lived with for so long it twisted his mind. He justified every selfish step with the love he had for your sister.
My sister?
The Jedi have failed you. I am going to make this right, but I need your help.
With what?
I need you to help me find someone.
Who?
A pupil of mine, before he turned to evil.
Interesting.
Sorry to disturb you.
So what if Plagueis is just like still hiding in his bedroom?
We need to talk.
Nice. About what, though? You can only tell him so much. Honestly, I think she's more concerned with covering her ass at this point. I don't know. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I really like this episode. I think it's one of the better, stronger ones. The only, the major hangups I have with this episode is the storytelling in the previous episodes. Isolated and on an island, I think this episode was pretty solid, all things considered. The fights were, again, some of the highlights of this entire show. I absolutely loved the staging, the choreography, the way they worked with the environment, the creativity and the force, everything to do with the combat, the escalation, the conflict, totally dug it. The music in this episode was also really strongly done. I really dug the editing in this episode. Overall, this episode was also pretty strongly paced. It's just, I'm so, there's such a great show in here. And, you know, like a lot of the other Star Wars shows, I would argue, barring The Mandalorian and Andor, I would say a lot of the other Star Wars shows needed just a little more time to iron out some of the kinks. And I mentioned this previously, a really good indie editor on YouTube could make a cut of this show and maybe not salvage everything, but really improve what we did get out of this, just by reordering a couple of things, trimming some things down or out completely, and just kind of restructuring a little bit of the show. I think it could flow a lot better. I feel like some episodes were padded out way more than they needed to be, while in others we just kind of really breezed through some stuff. I really think some episodes in this could have just 100% have been truncated or combined in a way that made everything flow so much nicer, while leaving room for other episodes to expand upon some of these ideas a little bit further. There's a lot of really interesting ideas that they explored throughout here, from the points of view that other people have on the Jedi themselves, especially other practitioners of the Force through these other means, like these witches, like their perception of the Jedi and how that differs from obviously the traditional perception of the Jedi that exists. And then we also have a secondary perspective as well from, you know, the members of the Senate, you know, through David Harwood here, who, from his point of view, he just kind of sees them as this cult that just has a little too much power for him to be comfortable. I don't know. It's just like an interesting way to kind of frame the Jedi. And it's not, again, it's not the entire order in this way, but it just shows you how the Jedi's way of thinking and the way that the world is shifting and their priorities are shifting, they are really just a ticking time bomb at the end of the day. And I think it's like a great reflection of you can only bottle up your emotions so much. Like the Sith is like going the whole other direction where you literally only think with your emotions. That it can be just as dangerous, if not more dangerous. But the thing about the Jedi's way of it is the bottling up of all of these things that make you you. And it's one of the hangups I've always kind of had with the Jedi in particular, and it's something that supposedly Luke was on the trajectory to rectify because it was his compassion, it was his attachments that in the end saved the day, but then he backpedals almost immediately after all of that. So like he goes right back into making the exact same mistakes the Jedi made before. It just goes to show, I think, that there's a middle ground. There's a balance to be had, because had there been a little bit more of this acceptance of these emotions, maybe Anakin wouldn't have exploded in the way that he did. Maybe wouldn't be afraid to talk to his masters in the way that may have helped him talk about the problems he had. He wouldn't have to have lived his life in secret, hiding who he truly was, what he truly wanted in the end, and maybe he could have confided in them if they weren't so, stuck in their ways. There's a lot of that rhetoric sprinkled all throughout this that basically was like showing that how the Jedi currently are functioning is basically priming them for somebody like Anakin to come in and just completely boom, drop the foundation out from under them because they're ill prepared to tackle something like that. When somebody that powerful comes in and they don't equip them with the necessary tools to manage themselves, it's just a time bomb waiting to happen. I like this exploration of the seduction of the dark side, like the idea of May's journey as well as Osha's eventual downfall. All she wanted at the end of the day was to be a Jedi, and kind of like in the same way that Sol was trying to project onto her what he wanted. He wanted, much like Qimir, two sides of the same coin. Both of them desperately wanted a pupil. And whether intentionally or not, Sol made that happen. Reacted in a moment, probably on emotions, I would say, dare say, given the emotions were very high with everything going on, because the witches were preying upon their emotions, their insecurities. They were riling them up, making them all extremely itchy and trigger happy, mainly Torbin and Sol, who were goaded into what happened. They were the weakest emotionally in the group, Torbin even more so than Sol, and were used to kind of stage this whole event. One of the key elements that I've seen people really gloss over is the fact that Aniseya and them, while the Jedi, we learned, didn't know they were there, stumbled upon them, and sure, they got a little itchy with the information that they've uncovered. It was like, oh, what is this? What did I just find? And from their point of view, it does seem a little disturbing. From their perspective, they don't know, so they go in, uninvited, but still, to gather some information. And the moment they did, though, they were just being provoked. They were being poked and prodded, and that was part of the plan. That was what Aniseya was trying to do once they arrived. I was pretty sure, based on what they said and what May told us and what we learned from Coral and what we learned from Aniseya, the plan was for what happened to happen. Because they had this grand plan for these twins for the Coven as a whole. I think they were trying to make a vessel for them. Their physical form would be evaporated in whatever way, and whatever remains as the power of one, the power of two, the power of many, they would become basically legion within these two hosts. But that didn't play out the way they went, because after everything, after talking to Osha, Aniseya backpedaled on her plan, which riled up Coral. She didn't like that. The Coven didn't like that. She started acting as a mother of her daughter instead of a mother of this Coven, and that's where things started to spiral. Everybody was trying to allot someone else their choice in some way, shape, or form. It was, Sol making the choice that he thought he was doing this for the right thing to get them out of this situation that clearly maybe wasn't great. Like something felt off about it. And I think there was probably something off about it had they not intervened in some way, but there was obviously a more diplomatic way to go about it. But I do think that their hand was forced in a lot of ways. I think outside of Indara and Kelnacca, there's a lot of fault to be had all around in this whole thing. Aniseya tried to back out once things already initiated, and Coral manipulated May into like just further inciting the conflict, and it just fell apart, you know. And then we have this trajectory of May feeling this guilt because, you know, she was holding on to her sister. She didn't want her to go. She wanted her to stay while ignoring her own wishes and her own choices, while Aniseya was preying into her choices and was going to allow her to leave. So there's just so much misinformation going around. There's so many different wills at play, and it just all spirals out of control. And I think some more time could have been spent on diving into a lot of these things, because I think some of the motivations that we saw feel very out of fucking nowhere. Most particularly with Soul. Outside of these flashbacks in these moments, we really don't know what he was really like back then. So like when we're watching that episode, some of the reactions, some of the decisions feel very jarring. And while you could say or make the excuse that, like Torbin, maybe they were in his head, but we just didn't see it. But that's the thing, we didn't see it. That's kind of indicative of a lot of the way this show played out. Mystery forward without kind of making the journey like fulfilling in a way. Once we kind of get that revelation here towards the back end, it just felt like, to me, it didn't feel wholly worth the effort. Like the revelations we got were just kind of extremely underwhelming. A lot of what was revealed in that last episode, I do not believe personally warrants the way that everybody treated it after the fact. The witches kind of ended themselves. like nobody physically did anything to them aside from the Aniseya thing. Obviously, the only thing that happened was Indara kicked them out of Kelnacca, performed an exorcism. I guess that's enough to kill them on their own. I don't know how that's your fault. You were saving your friend, you pushed them out, they died for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe severing them while connected to him just disconnected their souls altogether, basically left them as husks with their souls just untethered. And that's their own fault at that point. Like, I don't know. And then I see people be like, well, it's Torbin. This wouldn't have happened if he didn't just charge in. But they were already locking the doors and all that kind of stuff before he even got there. And then at that point, too, he had already had his mind invaded and preyed upon by Aniseya. Like, they already initiated the fuckery in his mind. So it's that thing I'm talking about where there's just fault that just goes kind of everywhere. It's not like the Jedi are just 100% bad. It's not like this cult is 100% bad or anything like that. There's fault to be had everywhere. Everybody kind of made a mistake. It just, like, looking back and seeing what actually happened, it just for me, I feel like they're blowing it out of proportion. So I don't know. It's a weird feeling that I have with this show. Like, because there's a lot of things I really like, especially the deep cut lore stuff, like the EU stuff they're bringing into this, the exploration of these various ideas. You're bringing in cortosis, exploring the dark side, exploring the Force from these other perspectives and points of view and ways of utilizing it, and the way that they used avergence in the Force, one of these powerful Force well springs, to manipulate it in a way that we don't really know what their end goal was, but they used it to manufacture life. And then that just kind of sets the stage for Plagueis to learn how to do that himself. So we plant that seed, and we see him, like, weirdly enough, just hiding out on in Qimir's cave. And I'm wondering if he knew he was there. Is Qimir aware that he's there, or is he slinking around there? Because I think that hard confirms the planet that this is, which was the one filled with cortosis that Plagueis resided on in his book. I forget the name of it, but in the show it was listed as unknown. But I think that hard confirms that it is that Sith planet where there's this tucked away cortosis mine that Plagueis and Tenebris kind of hold up at. This is like where they set up base. So I don't know. It just makes me wonder, like, what the connection is there, you know. And then we have this, a lot of these threads that I think they were just kind of seeding for later, like the stuff with Qimir, his relationship with his master. You know, we got the confirmation of that when she landed and sensed him, and he sensed her right in return. You know, there's all of that we didn't quite get time to explore. And I know that they want to explore this in a second season, but I really wish they would have spent so much more time fleshing this out. There's a great show in here. I really believe that there was. This script needed another draft. It needed more time to iron out the structure. And I think we needed to focus in on, because there's no guarantee of a season 2. So like, while it's great to set up things for later, I think you need to spend your time focusing on the here and the now. What is the beginning, middle, and end that we have here, and how do we tell that to the best of our ability? And I can't say that I think that this show did that, in a way, at least to me. Like, I really wanted to love this. I really, really did. I always want to love Star Wars. I really do. It's one of my favorite things in the world, is this world that George created. So I'm always going into everything that we're watching with the hope that I'm going to love it. I'm not coming into any of these shows wanting to dislike any of it. I don't feel like there's any benefit in using your energy to do that. It feels like, to me, that's a waste of energy, a waste of time. Because at the end of the day, all I'm hoping is to help Star Wars get better and improve. So I'm trying to be constructive, even if maybe I'm not getting my ideas or my thoughts out as concisely as I would like. That's the goal. Jung-jae, I think he did a great job. I really loved him as this character. It's one of the reasons why I wish we spent more time fleshing him out as well. Like, I loved the Jedi that we had in here. I loved Jecki. I wish we got a little bit more of Yord before the show was ready to just break his neck. I liked what we did with Indara for the little bit we got to have her in the show. Qimir was great. I loved him as a character. He's probably my favorite aspect of this show, from his design to his attitude, to the way he carries himself, to his story, to the way he's trying to seduce anybody at this point to just be his student, and just the viewpoint that he has. It's just so counter and mirror to the Jedi that we've been introduced to, while also being very similar. I think it's a great perspective of the duality of the Sith and the Jedi. I think everybody in this, character-wise, you know, I was very taken with, outside of Osha and May. I feel like their story structure, everything about those characters needed to be completely overhauled. I mean, honestly, to me, the weakest parts of the show was the drama between Osha and May. The show also gave us some of the best lightsaber fights that we've seen since the prequels, so I definitely got to give it props for that as well. It's like the show had all the right ingredients, but didn't have them in the right quantities, so while still edible in the end, it just needed a little bit more ironing out, tweaking of the chemistry, and more time in the oven, and maybe this would have been a beautiful meal to gorge ourselves on at the end of the day. And I know some people are going to still really love it, and I really wanted to be right there with you guys. And don't get me wrong, I don't dislike the show by any means. I just simply don't love it. I'm just kind of meh about the whole thing. It's a huge mixed bag for me. So there's a lot of stuff that I really loved. There was a lot of stuff I really didn't like. So it just kind of balances out for me in the end. I'm going to be honest about my opinion 1000% of the time. And I wanted to hold back on some of my thoughts until we reached the end, because some of those opinions could shift and change based on the revelation of the information. And this is kind of where we're at right now. Because like I said in the last episode, there's a couple of things that happened in the episode that I'm going to hold back on until we get the final pieces of the puzzle, at least. And that's kind of where we're at right now. There's a lot of potential here, and if they do get a season 2, I really hope they take a lot of the feedback that is given, like the genuine feedback that is given, and they make something stronger. I probably like it too much for the people who hate the show to give a shit about it. Probably didn't like it enough for the people that love the show to give a crap about it, so I'm probably going to get blown up in this episode talking about everything. I said this in a comment one, but somebody calling me a shill. Like, dude, if Disney paid for this opinion, I don't know. Like, people that say that shit, like, they don't watch the video. They don't see what I say. They don't stick around to hear me out or anything. They just see the ooh-ah faces, the formulation of what's happening, the reaction to what's happening, and they assume the rest. You know, that only tells you so much, man. That doesn't always tell you what's going on in the back of my head while I'm thinking about everything, but like, it's just crazy. Like, if Disney paid for my opinions in this season, man, they deserve their fucking money back, because I'm sure they didn't get the reaction they would have wanted out of it if that was the case. God, the shill comments, man, they are fucking laughable. But guys, that's kind of all I got to say on this, so I'm going to pass it off to you guys. What did you think about it? How did you feel? Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If it did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, get you access as well. And speaking of before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny, Yord, Melito, Robert Anguiano, Jeffrey L, Jake Contrell, Eric Official, Casey Wood, and Russell Crockett. Thank you guys so much for continued support. But that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. But until then, may the Force be with you always. Take care, everybody.